All right, everyone, get ready for a deep dive today into a story that's got a little bit of everything. Celebrity gossip, legal battles, and a whole lot of head-scratching moments.
Sounds intriguing.
We're talking about Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and that very public feud they've got going on with Justin Baldoni.
Ah, yes, that one's hard to miss with all the headlines it's making.
And this article you sent over about their appearance at that big SNL50 anniversary thing.
Right.
Really got us thinking.
It definitely raises some questions, like, is it even possible to be celebrating like that when you're in the middle of a legal battle this big?
It's kind of strange to see, right?
Yeah, you've got these two worlds colliding, the glitz and glam of Hollywood, right up against some pretty serious legal stuff. It really shows you just how messy things can get when you mix public image and celebrity culture with a courtroom battle. Especially in this case, because Baldoni isn't just suing Lively, he's going after the New York Times, too.
Wow. And even dragging Reynolds' Deadpool character into it.
It's wild.
Definitely not your average Hollywood disagreement.
Not at all.
For those who haven't been following every little detail, the article gives a good rundown of how this whole thing started. Basically, Lively accused Baldoni of sexual harassment and trying to ruin her reputation.
Right, going back to when they were working on that film adaptation of It Ends With Us.
Exactly, and Baldoni, he's denying everything, saying it's all lies and he's actually the one being defamed.
And that's where the legal part gets really interesting. For Baldoni to win this defamation case, he can't just say Lively is wrong.
He's got to prove she'd do it on purpose to hurt him. Right?
Exactly. He needs to show that Lively knew what she was saying was false and that she meant to damage his reputation. And that can be tough to do in these he said, she said situations.
You'd think so.
But the article does mention some potential evidence that Baldoni's side is pointing to. Things like text messages and emails between Baldoni and his PR people.
So there's a lot of behind-the-scenes maneuvering going on.
It seems that way.
And then there's Ryan Reynolds being pulled into all of this, specifically because of that Nice Pool character, the supposed good guy version of Deadpool.
Oh, right.
Baldoni's claiming Reynolds used that persona to make fun of him and make him look bad.
Bringing a fictional character into a real-life lawsuit, that's pretty unusual.
You think so?
Definitely. Baldoni's lawyers, they could be trying to do a few different things with that tactic, maybe grab the media's attention, or make Reynolds look like a bully, or even try to show a pattern of behavior that supports the defamation claims against Lively.
It's like they're saying, hey, look, even his superhero alter ego is in on this whole smear campaign.
Yeah, it's an interesting angle for sure. But then, in the middle of all this legal drama, what do Lively and Reynolds do?
Show up at SNL50, all smiles for the cameras.
Right. Bold move considering what they're dealing with.
It's almost like they're trying to show everyone they're not bothered by the lawsuit at all, like they're completely unfazed.
Could be a calculated PR move, trying to control how the public sees them.
Because how people perceive them matters a lot in a case like this, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's not just about legal arguments, it's about who people believe. And showing up at SNL50, like, that adds a whole other layer to the story. Makes you wonder what their strategy is here.
Yeah, for sure.
Makes you think, doesn't it, showing up like that? Almost like they're trying to take control, Like, hey, we're fine, this lawsuit's not getting to us. We've seen this kind of thing before in other big celebrity cases, trying to sway public opinion.
You're right. Remember that one a couple of years back with, what was her name? It's on the tip of my tongue.
I know what you mean. Can't quite.
Yeah, it's like they're walking a fine line, trying to act normal while they're dealing with all this. The article even talked about a body language expert who analyzed them at the event. Said they looked awkward and stiff. Ha, like that proves anything.
It is funny how we analyze every little thing they do, right? Every smile, every glance, trying to figure out if they're guilty or not. But, we got to remember, even celebs, they feel the pressure too. They're human. They're allowed to have bad days. Doesn't automatically mean they're guilty.
True. It's easy to forget there are real people behind all the headlines and drama. Their lives, their careers are on the line. And it's not just them. This whole thing brings up bigger issues, right?
Absolutely. We're talking about power dynamics in Hollywood, the whole #MeToo movement, and how hard it is to manage your public image in the age of social media. What happens with this case could impact the whole industry.
It makes you think about the role of the media, too. Baldoni's not just suing Lively and Reynolds, but he's going after the New York Times as well for their coverage of this whole thing. That's a big deal, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's pretty rare to see someone sue a big outlet like that for defamation. Shows just how high the stakes are. To win that, Baldoni has to prove they published things they knew weren't true, or that they acted recklessly, not caring about the truth.
Wow. I get why those lawsuits aren't common. That's a tough one to prove. But speaking of narratives, remember how the article mentioned all the other celebrity news from that same day? Like, there was something about Evan Costner reacting to a joke about the lawsuit, right?
Right, and Tom Hanks was getting some criticism for appearing on SNL. It's crazy how much stuff is happening all at once, Celebrity news, legal drama, everyone's got an opinion. It just shows how everything gets tangled up together.
It's a never-ending cycle, right? Makes you wonder what's real, what's made up, and what's just PR spin.
Exactly, and that's what we all got to keep in mind when we read this stuff. We have to think critically, separate fact from fiction, and remember that every story has multiple sides.
So much to unpack what we've talked about: the lawsuit, the red carpet appearances, and all the media frenzy around it. But now I think it's time to address that elephant in the room, so to speak. Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool persona. We've covered a lot of ground already. The lawsuit, that whole red carpet thing, the media storm surrounding it all. But I think it's time we tackled that one element that really stands out.
Yeah, bringing Nice Pool into this whole legal mess, that was a curveball.
It's crazy, right? Like, suing a fictional character sounds like something straight out of a comic book.
Baldoni's claiming that Reynolds was intentionally using that Nice Pool persona, the supposedly good guy version of Deadpool, to mock him and hurt his reputation. Like he was blurring the lines between fiction and reality.
It's like, where do you even draw the line between an actor and the roles they play? Can a fictional character even be sued for defamation? I mean, I've heard of actors getting in trouble for things they do in their personal lives. But going after a character they play on screen, that's next level stuff.
It really is. Legally speaking, we're in uncharted territory here.
It's almost as if Baldoni's saying, look, Reynolds might be hiding behind this Nice Pool mask, but it's all an act to make me look bad. Do you think that'll actually fly in court?
It's hard to say for sure. A lot depends on the specifics of the evidence and how the judge interprets the law, but it does make you think about the power of these personas, especially with how media works these days.
Right. These characters, they become more than just characters. They're cultural icons.
Exactly, and they have a lot of influence.
Which is what Baldoni's arguing, that Reynolds used that influence, basically weaponized Nice Pool against him. It's a risky strategy for sure, but it's definitely got people talking, and it makes you think about this whole trend of using humor and satire even when things get serious, like an illegal battle.
It's becoming more and more common, isn't it? Using humor as a tool to make a point, sometimes even to attack someone.
Especially with social media, a joke can spread like wildfire and have real consequences. This whole thing with Reynolds and Nice Pool, it forces us to ask, can humor be a weapon, even when it's coming from a fictional character? And is that even ethical?
It's complicated. There are no easy answers. But it highlights how important it is to be aware, to think critically about what we see and hear, and to be responsible for what we put out there, even when we're just trying to be funny.
Wow, what a deep dive this has been, from red carpets to legal strategies to the whole world of fictional characters and their real-world impact. What's the biggest takeaway for you from all of this?
I think the main thing is that we're living in a time where entertainment, legal battles, and how the public sees things are all getting mixed up. It's more important than ever to look at these stories carefully, understand all the different angles and motivations, and consider the potential consequences.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. This case is far from over. Who knows what's going to happen next? But one thing's for sure, this isn't just some Hollywood drama. It reflects our culture, our values, and the challenges we all face, navigating this crazy world of information and entertainment. Keep those questions coming, keep trying to understand, and most importantly, keep diving deep.